Deadlifts offer a number of different variations to target specific muscle groups. Here we're going to look at a straight leg deadlift and understand how a change in foot positioning could possibly change our contribution patterns. The goal here is to understand which of these variations is going to get us the most posterior chain activation as a combination of both glute and ham work.
I started off here with a conventional close stance where my feet were slightly inside my shoulders. You can see the hamstrings and glutes lighting up here on the screen. From the data after the set, we can see the hamstrings were our primary mover, but I didn't quite get the glute contribution I was looking for. I was curious to see how changing my stance could affect this to ideally get more glute. Next, I performed a wider stance. My feet are slightly wider than my shoulders, but my toes are straight ahead. Now let's take a look at the activation pattern lighting up here. From the data, we can see that the glute contribution did increase slightly, while the hamstring stayed about the same. This shows me some improvement skills, but still not where I'd like it to be. Now I keep my feet the same distance apart, but move my toes only into a sumo stance with my toes pointed outward. The idea here again is to see if I can increase my overall posterior chain work, and specifically my glute contribution. As we take a look at the data, we can see a large increase in glute contribution from where I was prior, and again the hamstring remained about the same. From here I can see that a sumo variation gives me the best contribution pattern. Now that I've found the optimal foot position for glute contribution, I wanted to see other variations specifically geared towards hamstring contribution. I placed a pad under my feet to elevate my heels and saw that the firing pattern actually looked pretty similar to the sumo position, with my hamstrings coming in at 27% and my glutes at 25%. I was really interested in targeting just the hamstrings in this next variation, moving the pad to elevate just my toes. Here the hamstrings really light up almost immediately as you descend. Again, looking at the data, we can see the hamstring contribution has gone through the roof, up to 36%, which is 7 to 10% higher than any other variation. Glutes stayed about the same, meaning much of the previous stress to accomplish the lift was happening in the quads. That activation is now happening in the hamstrings where we intended. When targeting the hamstrings specifically, this became our ideal variation of the lift.